On February 6th, Justin Trudeau stormed out of the House of Commons mid-debate. And he did this after losing his cool completely during questioning from Pierre Poilievre. He managed to stay in the House of Commons for about 5 more minutes. He answered a question from Jagmeet Singh, and then magically the government House leader took over, and he just disappeared. And I would like to show you the difference between Pierre Poilievre and his leadership style and Justin Trudeau and his leadership style. And I would like you to tell me which one seems more frantic, more petulant, more childlike, dare I say, more akin to the flamboyant style of a certain orange man, versus one that is level-headed, calm, and collected. First, we're going to be talking about the crime that is going up in Canada. This is our first questioning. Here we go with Poilievre talking first. And this, like I said, we're going to be showing a huge difference in leadership here.
What we cut was auto theft. Right. We cut auto theft by 50% under the previous common sense conservative government. And he's right. We did it at a lower cost to taxpayers. And he's also right that he reversed our reduction in auto theft because it has exploded by 32% since he took office, just as the bureaucracy has exploded. He has not put it into frontline officers. In fact, at the Port of Montreal, there's only 5 of them to inspect 500,000 containers, only 1% of it which get inspected.
Can you imagine that? 5 inspection officers for 500,000 containers of vehicles? Holy Christ. How does that make sense? No wonder there are stolen vehicles going overseas.
Why won't he cut the high-priced consultants and bureaucrats and get boots on the ground?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
It would be more credible what the Leader of the Opposition was saying if he hadn't voted against sending $121 million to the province of Ontario to fight against organized crime and car theft. If he hadn't intended these, hadn't announced that
he can't even talk. He can't even get his answer out. And by the way, yeah, they voted against the $121 million because all you wanted to do was pay for more bureaucrats in the back offices.
That he's voting against our fight against money laundering. Mr. Speaker, he still has time to change his perspectives and get behind our initiatives to fight organized crime, to fight auto theft, and to stand up for Canadians. He cut thousands of jobs under his previous government from border services. We've invested in them, and we will continue to.
He's yelling. He's stuttering over his words. He can't get them out. He knows what he's saying is wrong and a lie.
The Honourable Member, the Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
I'll say it softly and slowly so the Prime Minister can understand. We cut auto theft by 50%, by half. Yes, while reducing the cost of the bureaucracy. And yes, we're voting against him putting hundreds of millions of dollars more into high-priced consultants and back-office bureaucrats that don't stop crime. My common sense plan will scan every container going out of the 4 biggest ports and put 75 border agents to do the inspections on the ground. Why can't we have more boots on the ground and fewer bureaucrats in offices?
That's what I mean. The louder Trudeau gets, the quieter Poilievre gets. It's like dealing with a screaming child. You don't scream back at them. They're screaming at you. You're like, well, when you're done screaming, I will be here to speak to you. He's like, I'll say it slowly and softly so the Prime Minister can understand. It's like, this is how you insult your opponent without being crass and rude and in your face. This is the way you insult and you dig. It's brilliant. I love it.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, again, he talks about boots on the ground, but the government he was part of, that he's taking credit for now, actually cut thousands of jobs of boots on the ground at the Canada Border Services Agency. We've continued to step up to support Canadians. They like to mention C5. It is a bill that kept mandatory minimum penalties for car theft.
Penalties? What's a penalty, Mr. Prime Minister? Is that now what since you're not actually giving these people penalties, since you're giving catch and release for car thieves and extortionists and violent offenders? Is that what we're calling it now? It's not a penalty because that's actually a real thing. We're calling it a penalty.
They mentioned C75, which is a bill that raised maximum penalties on car.
Oh, now it's penalties again. Oh.
We're going to continue to invest in fighting money laundering, and we hope, and organized crime, and we hope that the Conservatives change their mind and vote with us to crack down on organized crime.
Again, I'm going to ask all members, please, to restrain themselves as they can listen to the questions and to the answers. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
He's hiked the cost. He's hiked the crime. He's not worth the cost. He's not worth the crime after 8 years. He's also not worth the hypocrisy. Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister has been claiming for months that he had no involvement in or knowledge of the invitation of a former Nazi soldier to the visit of the Ukrainian president. Now,
oh, this is where it gets spicy. This is where it starts getting spicy. I like the segue. I like the segue into saying he's not worth the crime, the cost, or the hypocrisy, and then he leads into this. I like it.
We know that he personally invited that same individual. He actually said the opposite, and he said that the former speaker had to resign over doing the exact same thing. So will he hold himself to the very same standard and admit that he's not fit for office?
So now he's starting to, this is smart. Now Poilievre is starting to plant the idea that Trudeau should resign. Okay? This is going to be really smart. He's laying the foundation here for a no confidence vote. Okay? This is what he's doing. He's saying that the Prime Minister isn't fit for office. He's saying the Prime Minister should hold himself to the same rules that he forced the Speaker, Anthony Rota, to follow. This is the groundwork, ladies and gentlemen, for a no confidence vote. I called it here because nobody is going to want to wait another 21 months for the election to come around. Okay, it's not going to work. We can't sustain the country this way for another 2 years. Okay, this is the groundwork. This is important. Okay, this is the groundwork that Poilievre is laying, and you're going to see other MPs. If you start tuning into question period, you're going to see other Conservative MPs say the same thing. They are laying the groundwork for a no confidence vote. Mark my words, we will see one by either just before the summer break or just after in the fall when Parliament resumes. Here's my prediction. It's going to be on the budget. He's laying the groundwork for the no confidence vote to be called when they vote on the budget in September. That's my prediction.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
The attacks that the leader of the opposition is choosing to make against the Ukrainian-Canadian Congress demonstrates the extent to which this Conservative Party no longer stands with Ukraine.
Why do we need to stand with Ukraine? We have our own problems. We are battling inflation. We are battling homelessness. We are battling crime. We are battling drug addiction. We are battling 2 million plus people needing food banks. We are battling it like routinely $3,000-$4,000 a month mortgage payments. We are battling houses that don't exist and they need to exist so that people can live. And you want to yell about standing with Ukraine? Why do we need to stand with Ukraine? It's not a world conflict. Why are you making it one?
They have an opportunity in just a few minutes, Mr. Speaker, to stand and vote in favor of a free trade deal that Volodymyr Zelensky himself is asking this House to pass, and he is choosing to not stand with Ukraine, not stand with Ukrainians, and not stand with Ukrainian Canadians. Why are they abandoning Ukraine?
Wow. That Prime Minister has lost his mind. He's literally lost it. He is shouting. He is shouting, why are they abandoning Ukraine in the Canadian House of Parliament in response to when will he admit that he's not fit for office? That's his answer. That's his response to when will he admit that he's not fit for office? Why are the Conservatives abandoning Ukraine? That's the distraction. And that is unbelievable. I just can't. I can't fathom the connection between the question, when will the Prime Minister admit that he's not fit for office, and standing up for Ukraine. You're the one who invited an ex-Nazi to visit the president.
And the Liberals again broke their promise. The Liberals
This is the last exchange before the Prime Minister walks out.
We do not.
The Liberal government, the Prime Minister promised to tax the excess profits of corporate grocery stores if they fail to stabilize grocery prices. Well, they failed to stabilize prices, and the Liberals again broke their promise. The Liberals announced instead another study on food prices. Canadians don't need another study to know that they're being gouged by corporate greed. It turns out we've learned the Liberal housing minister received thousands of dollars in donations from none other than the Sobeys family.
Now, I don't like Jagmeet Singh, right? I don't like the NDP, but he's right. And this is also showing that coalition between the Liberals and the NDPs, it's not so collative anymore, is it? Is it now? And this also is laying the groundwork for a no confidence vote.
Is that why they're protecting their wealthy friends?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, more competition means lower prices, more choice, and more innovative products and services for Canadians. Our government has just passed new legislation that empowers the Competition Bureau to hold grocers accountable and prioritize consumers' interests. The fall economic statement also cracks down on predatory pricing, and I urge all parties to vote in favor of that. Canadians are watching and counting on each and every single one of us in this House of Commons to keep supporting them.
And that is him at his "I am taking my ball and I am going home" voice. The clipped, rushed, like, you can tell he's like, I'm done with this shit. I don't like being questioned, especially by the people that I thought were my friends. I'm going home now. This is insane. And I'm telling you right now, this is the groundwork. February 6th, House of Commons question period was the beginning of the groundwork for a no confidence vote. And my prediction is that it's going to come in the fall budget vote. So that's what I think. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.